Thanks for joining us here tonight on Arc Salt Lake, Brian Schnee, Wednesday night, January 28th. Wednesday means Utah's missing. That's what we do on Wednesday nights here. Tonight we're taking a deep dive into a topic that surrounds a lot of the cases that we talk about here on the show each week. So typically in Utah's missing, we focus on cases, current cases, urgent pleas for help, or even cold cases to get new eyeballs on those people. Tonight, we're looking at a bill that would implement a purple alert in Utah. Earlier today, Ariel Harrison spoke with the bill's sponsor, Senator Jen Plum, on Utah's Capitol Hill.
It's a bill that came to me by some concerned community members and constituents. Knowing that I have a heart in protecting vulnerable populations, they were really worried about our ability to communicate via public safety alerts, our police departments, our community responders. If there was someone who had the real kind of unique communication spaces around someone, say, with autism. And they wanted us to have a way that we could alert the public, hey, we've got someone who needs us. We don't have the most typical ways to communicate about them. Here's what we want to do. And they presented this concept of a purple alert, which has been adopted in other states. Talked with our public safety people, Salt Lake City PD, parents, the disability community, because we wanted to be very careful not to stigmatize, right? We didn't want to draw negative attention or imply anything other than that this was a solution for a population that needs a unique solution. And the bill thus far has been really well received. I'm super grateful to get it out of committee today and for all the support it's getting.
Well, talking about SB 128, the bill, quote, creates the Purple Alert notification system to be implemented and administered by the Department of Public Safety to assist with locating missing and endangered vulnerable individuals in certain circumstances. Right now it is written, by the way, as a vulnerable individual referring to an adult or a minor, so it encompasses both. The Purple Alert system is active in some states, as you just heard from Senator Plum. Utah doesn't have this, but instead has a missing endangered advisory, which is sent out by the Department of Public Safety. Let's take a nice deep dive on the public safety alert system tonight here on Utah's Missing. Lee Perry, kind enough to join us, former Utah State Rep, longtime highway patrolman, keeping himself quite busy as a county commissioner in Box Elder County. Lee, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm glad you're able to do this here after a long day of meetings. We appreciate you. You are an interesting person to talk about this topic because you helped implement the Silver Alert here in Utah. What was that process like?
The Silver Alert was actually very gratifying when we got it done. What happened is I lost a constituent up here. I was the state representative for this area in Box Elder and Weber County. And one of our residents that had dementia, got in a car, drove away, ended up over in Cache Valley. And even though they were looking all over the place, they didn't happen to look over there. And after 3 days, they found the individual was frozen to death and had basically succumbed to his being out in the element. And it was sad because I think with a simple system where we could put out the alert in a geographic area, he would have clearly been found because we would have put out the description of the vehicle he was in and a few other things spread wider. And we probably would have found him before he passed away, and we could have kept him alive and been with his family. And so we went to the system, wrote a bill. We knew other states had it. One of the things that I chose to do is not do a shotgun approach where we do the whole state, but make it very geographically focused. So if we know that somebody's in a car, it's a bigger geographic area. But if they just walked away, we focus in that area where it's at. Because the more people geographically we get that message to, the more likely we are to find those individuals. So the Silver Alert's been very successful. And I'm quite excited when I heard about this idea of a Purple Alert because those people are also vulnerable and need to be found.
Full transparency here, Lee. I called you a few months ago and I said, hey, what would it look like in the state of Utah if we were to do this? And at that point, I didn't know it was being pushed. I came to you almost for some advice, just being very honest with people, hoping to push the bill or at least help get it to somebody to have a conversation, because I've spoken with family member after family member, specifically here Wednesday nights when we do a missing persons program, where somebody says to me, oh, I wish there was an alert for so-and-so, or my so-and-so didn't get the alert. Now, not everybody qualifies in a criteria for an alert. Purple is very interesting. Typically with cognitive issues, we talk a lot about autism or somebody that has some sort of developmental issue that they require some additional assistance in. Purple Alert is kind of interesting because very few states have this. But in your experience as a leader in your community, which you're still doing, how would this benefit the state of Utah in terms of quicker awareness. You're also a longtime member of law enforcement, responding to these calls and working on them. What would this do in Utah, Lee?
I think the public wants to help us out. I think when you have a crisis situation, if they can be given the information, they want to help. That's why we did the Silver Alert. Is we said if we can get the information in front of the public saw this truck of this older gentleman several times. They never bothered to go over and make contact because they weren't aware that this person was a missing person. But if you can get that information out into people's hands through blast to cell phones or information similar to the Amber Alert, but maybe not quite as widespread, and get people to start thinking about it and start looking for these people, hundreds of eyes on something is far more effective than one or two officers driving around a neighborhood. There's just not enough police officers out there to search, to find somebody when they go missing, whether it's an elderly person or somebody who has a diminished intellectual capacity that doesn't understand. And then the other side is by putting this information out in front of people, it's not to stigmatize, but warn people, this person may run from you because of some of these issues. And so report it to law enforcement, get the right people there to help them get help they need and get them back with their family.
And it also would help probably law enforcement have a better understanding of the individual, I would imagine, that they're looking for, right? Maybe mannerisms. Do they run from you? Are they open to conversation? Are they verbal? Like, what is that like, being on the responding end, Lee, not knowing really, I mean, any day you would get a call like this, but not knowing what sort of response you may get from somebody that's in this situation?
Right. In fact, prior to getting out of law enforcement, retiring from law enforcement, we were given training on how to deal with, especially like autistic people and folks that may not interact well with strangers or people they don't know. And some things that we learned is some people don't like to be touched. So you can't go up and start putting hands on or putting your arm around them or anything like that, because they may react violently. And it's not that they hate you. It's just, it's part of how they are. So understanding that up front will help the law enforcement officers who interact with them to know how to best interact. And we are training our law enforcement community on how to deal with these individuals, but knowing up front that you are looking for that type of individual, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're just, in fact, I actually remember seeing a story on the Hive for the Highway Patrol where a trooper found a young man walking home from a game where he didn't get picked up by his mom. And it talked about how this case wasn't somebody that was autistic or intellectually, but it was interesting. The boy was a little standoffish about wanting to get in the trooper's car, letting the trooper know that he was having to walk home. So understanding the kind of people we're running into out there can make a huge difference on helping to get people safely back to their loved ones.
I'm glad you brought up that Ride with the Hive episode. I think about that one frequently. It was a moment out in Tooele, and you should go on the Department of Public Safety's YouTube page and watch Ride with the Hive. We featured that on this program as well. I only have you for another minute here. The Silver Alert would be very similar to what this Purple Alert is. It's localized, it's highway signage, it's not blasted per se in a statewide alert all over the phone. You feel like that's the right approach?
I think getting it on the signage, one of the things I've encouraged, or I would like to people think about, is maybe even getting it, especially in Salt Lake area, Weber County area where we have UTA, maybe getting it blasted over to UTA to look for these people on buses and mass transit, getting into those folks' hands. Again, the more eyes you've got out there looking, the better off we are. There's not enough law enforcement folks out there to help us. And so the more eyes, the more people we have involved. It's like, see something, say something. It fits in this case too.
Congratulations on the years later of what Silver Alert has become here in Utah. Obviously, you're a major part of that. And we will see. Maybe we'll have to chat again if Purple Alert does or does not move through. It's still very early in the session, and I know you remember those days.
I do, and it takes a long time, but she's still got 30 or 40 days here left to go. And so we congratulate Senator Plum for taking this action, and I'm hopeful that the legislators will look at this and maybe we can get it done this session. That would be great.
Former state rep go ahead, Lee.
Oh, I was just going to say, it took me 2 sessions to get the Silver Alert through. So I'm hoping she can do it in one, because that would be even better for the people that need it.
Well, you wouldn't be surprised then if it did come to that, tweaking language and getting more support, right? She was saying today that she felt like she had pretty good support, but sounds like things change rather quickly on Utah's Capitol Hill. Is that right?
They do change quickly, but the cool part is the Silver Alert gives them something to look at that's similar nature, so it should be easier for them to accept it, knowing how well Silver Alert's working.
All right, Lee, thank you for making time for us tonight, and of course on the successes over the years working for the people in Box Elder County, which you continue to do. Thanks for the time tonight.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, so still ahead here on Arc Salt Lake, Santaquin is getting a data center. What the mayor has to say about powering it and how much water it will use. That is coming up.
2 News wants to see how you celebrate 250 years of amazing America. Scan the QR code or go to KUTV.com/chime in. Click Submit Content and pick Amazing America 250 from the drop-down. Whether it's your favorite monument, your favorite park, around the state, or around the country, we want to see and share whatever makes you proud to be American. Thank you for being a part of 2 News and Amazing America 250.
Tomorrow, the city of Santaquin will answer questions over a data center going up. Leslie Duarte questioned the city mayor about the approved project.
A data center is coming to the city of Santaquin.
Approximately right here.
In 2024, the city approved it to go here, near the Mona Road. But some in the community have questions.
How big it is, where the power's coming from, are there any risks?
City Mayor Dan Olson.
How many council meetings were held on this topic?
Oh, I don't know, 9 to 11.
So why are you doing the town hall meeting now?
Because people don't understand how a data center works, or that maybe they've lost trust. The main point is that the elected officials of Santaquin have looked at this with a lawyer by our side. We have evaluated all of those concerns that have been brought up.
There are some people that are concerned that their power bill will go up because of this data center. What do you say to that?
Okay, all power for the data center is generated on site with natural gas engines. It's all rated and controlled by the EPA, and it's done so with those Gen 4 generators. And so it's not even connected to the power grid.
He says he was the first one to raise concerns over the data center.
The new technology doesn't include all those things that have been red flags in the past, that they are safe for the environment, low water use, no power use to the city and our grid. And we are just trying to do what is best for the city, no matter what.
A start date for the construction has not been set, but tomorrow's open house meeting will start at 6 p.m. at the city's multi-purpose room. Reporting from Santaquin, Leslie Duarte, KUTV 2 News.
Earlier today, Granger Elementary School students participated in Utah Clean Air Partnership's Idle Free program. Students marched around the school, drop off and pick up lines, encouraging parents to turn off their engines. School zones are often idling hotspots, and vehicles left running can contribute to higher air pollution levels. Well, that's one way to look at it, but not that U.S. magnesium company that was also in the news over the last couple of days. Maybe we'll take a deep dive into that someday. Let's get over to meteorologist Sean Kelly with our first alert forecast. Sean, 2 days in a row you're stuck with me, man. I loved it. And you've got snow behind you.
Look at this. What is this?
I don't know.
Substance.
What Farmington is that? What state is this in?
Yeah, right. I think this is Florida here,
Farmington,
right?
Connecticut.
Yeah, right.
All right.
It's been a while since we've seen some snow, but we certainly had it more so across the northern bench here, across portions of the Wasatch Front north of Salt Lake City. We saw a little bit in the Salt Lake Valley. It didn't accumulate, but again, it was a nice change of pace and to the Farmington area, and boy, was it a pretty sight to see. You could just see how gorgeous it was, about 1 inch to 2 inches in the Syracuse area as well. Another picture in Layton. It was this band that kind of just set up in the similar area just north of the city here. And then up into the mountains, we've seen generally about 1 to 2.5 inches of snow as well, including up at Brighton, and the skiers enjoying it right now. You could see those totals, again, ranging from about 1 to 2 inches or so in the pretty similar areas of the northern end of the Wasatch Front. It's out of here, though. We're drying things out up and down the Wasatch Front. It was nice while we had it, but it is gone, and dry, cold air is working its way in. We'll be waking up to partly cloudy skies tomorrow, and then increasing clouds tomorrow afternoon, evening. Another weak system kind of zips by to us from the north, and that will continue to keep our air clean for at least another day, day and a half or so. But the temperatures here are pretty chilly. We're into the 30s right now up and down the Wasatch Front. 31 in Logan, 27 in Park City, 29 in Heber, with conditions again drying out. There could be some icy spots out there though, with temperatures into the lower 30s. We're dealing with conditions for the most part here that have been looking pretty good here with visibility. Not much in the way of haze out there, dealing with quiet conditions, but with, again, the high pressure building back in by the end of the week. We're talking about worsening conditions, worsening air quality, and we'll be in the moderate category as soon as we head to Friday and into Saturday of the weekend. So before we know it, those hazy conditions will be moving back in, but won't be as bad as what we saw over the past few weeks. So at least we have that going for us. But we get ready for a chilly night ahead. We're down into the 20s and teens across the area. Highs tomorrow into the 40s here, drier conditions, but again, a little bit cloudier into the second half of the day. For St. George, we're looking at temperatures here into the 50s and 60s. Beautiful weather for the weekend, by the way. getting close to more than 10 degrees above normal, getting close to 70 degrees on Sunday. Nice weather into next week. And then across the Wasatch Front, we're going to be into the 40s, eventually the 50s by the weekend. We've got hazy skies by Saturday and Sunday, and mild weather will continue on to next week. No big storm in sight, and it looks like we'll continue at least through maybe February 11th now with anything substantial.
Well, how about that? I mean, an entire month of January with next to nothing.
Yeah.
Even some of the resorts are playing off of it right now. I saw Snow Basin sharing earlier, tomorrow's a powder day with like a winky emoji because they got like a skiff of snow on the snow stake.
I know, it's
I mean,
crazy.
just go up there and just ski what you got to ski if you're into it, and go enjoy something, because they're still working really hard to give you something to ski on.
Yeah, it's all groomers, but you know, that's not bad, especially if you're getting there early. But yeah, it is sad to see. We're living through history too. The least snowy season on record for the Salt Lake Valley. I'm hoping we can play some catch up, but it's not going to happen in the next 10 days at least.
Yeah, need a big change.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Sean.
The Super Bowl of Caring. Brought to you by America First Credit Union, Smith's, Check City, Ford, Balance of Nature, and Rocky Mountain Power.
You can help end child hunger in Utah with our Super Bowl of Caring. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to KUTV.com/donate for more information on how to donate. Just $10 can help feed a child for a weekend. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, a new baseball stadium opening at the University of Utah. It's finally here. Find out when the team will play its first game. It's January, but the University of Utah is getting ready for baseball season. Today, they cut the ribbon on a brand new on-campus stadium.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, how about this? I actually drove by Smith's ballpark today, did not know this was happening, and said, oh, what a shame. But this is really cool. The ballpark is located near 7th South and Guardsman Way. The stadium has 1,200 chairback seats, plus a grass berm in the outfield where fans can sit. The project cost $38 million. Construction began in the summer of 2024. Previously, the U played their games at Smith's Ballpark, the former home of the Salt Lake Bees, one of the best views in baseball.
This is our field of dreams. This is where young people and the community come together and they see their dreams come true. It's amazing when you see individuals achieve in athletics and how it translates into life. For us, this new ballpark will be an energizer for our program, but also for the community.
Yeah, and I believe it too. Good for them to have something on campus. The U will host its first game at the new stadium March 6th. They got Grand Canyon University in town. We're back tomorrow at 7. We'll see you.